A friend tells you the good news. The promotion. The house. The thing you wanted, arriving in someone else's hands. And you smile. You say the right words. You are happy for them. But somewhere beneath the smile, in a room you do not like to enter, something turns. Something cold and quiet and sour. You would never call it by its name. No one ever does. This is the only sin that brings no pleasure with it. The glutton has his feast. The proud man has his throne. But the envious gets nothing. He simply suffers that another has more. Of all the vices, this is the one no one will confess. A man will admit to lust. He will laugh about his greed. He will tell you, almost proudly, of his anger. But no one says, I am eaten alive by what you have. Because to confess envy is to confess inferiority. It is to say, out loud, that another's life has made yours feel small. So we hide it. We bury it so deep that we hide it even from ourselves. And there it grows in the dark, unwatched, unnamed, and from that darkness it begins quietly to rule you. Envy is a coward. It never shows its own face. It comes to you wearing the mask of something noble. It calls itself justice. It says it isn't fair that they have so much. It calls itself principle. It says someone should take them down a step. It calls itself taste. You don't admire her work, you have simply noticed its flaws. Watch the man who must always find the crack in another's success, who greets every triumph with a quiet, knowing yes, but. He believes he is discerning. He believes he is honest. He does not know he is only in pain. But here is the secret the envious never learn. Envy is not your enemy. It is information. You do not envy everyone. You feel nothing for the stranger's fortune in a far country. The sourness comes only when another has the very thing your own heart was too afraid to want out loud. So look into it. The envy is a mirror. It is showing you your own desire, the one you would not admit to. The man who envies wealth wants wealth. The woman who envies the artist was born to make something. Read the wound, and it will tell you what you were meant to chase. This is the oldest sin recorded. Before the cities. Before the kings. At the very beginning of the story. Two brothers bring their offering. One is favored. One is not. And the one who is passed over does not weep. He does not pray. He looks at his brother, his own blood, and the field goes quiet. The first murder in the Bible is not for gold. Not for a woman. Not for a throne. It is one man who could not bear that another was seen as greater. Remember this when envy whispers that it is harmless. It was envy that first taught the human hand to kill. Centuries later, a king watches a shepherd boy return from battle. The crowds are singing, but they are not singing the king's name. Saul has thousands to his credit. The boy, they say, has tens of thousands. And in that moment, something dies in the king. He had loved David. Now he watches him with a spear in his hand. Understand what happened. David did nothing against Saul. His only crime was to shine. His only offense was excellence, and the envious cannot forgive excellence. To the small king, your light is not a gift. It is an accusation. So learn the law the courtiers learned, who lived among envious men. Never make those above you feel you have surpassed them. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will rise. Show too much talent too soon, and you do not earn admiration. You earn an enemy who smiles at you across the table. This is not weakness. This is sight. The powerful do not destroy you for your failures. They destroy you for your gifts when those gifts outshine their own. The wise man, surrounded by lesser men, learns to dim his lamp on purpose, not forever, but until the room is his. And yet pity the envious, for of all sinners he is punished first. The angry man at least feels the heat of his fire. The envious feels only the cold. He drinks a poison and waits for his rival to die. Every gift another receives, he experiences as a theft from himself. He cannot enjoy his own bread while another's table is fuller. He has made the entire world his enemy because there will always be someone with more. Envy is the one sin that offers not even a moment of pleasure. It is suffering, chosen, and called by another name. Now consider the age you were born into. Once a man compared himself to the dozen souls in his village. Today you hold a glass rectangle that shows you 10,000 lives, and every one of them is the brightest hour these strangers have to offer. The wedding, never the divorce. The triumph, never the long grey years behind it. You scroll through the highlights of the world and measure them against your own dull afternoon. This is not a window. It is a machine built to manufacture envy, because your envy is the fuel that keeps your thumb moving. You were not meant to witness the success of all mankind before breakfast. No soul was ever built to carry that comparison. At the root of all envy lies a single lie: that there is only so much praise, so much love, so much room at the top, that every portion handed to another is torn from a loaf that was meant for you. The envious lives in a world of scarcity, a world running out. And so his neighbor's gain must be his loss. But watch the master at his craft, the one truly devoted to the work. He does not look sideways. He has no time for the ledger of other men's fortunes. He knows the deepest truth the envious cannot see: another's light does not darken your own. There is no fixed sum of flame in the world. So how does a man free himself from this oldest of chains? Not by pretending he is above it. The saint who feels no envy is usually only a liar. You begin where the envious never dares to go. You begin by confessing it. Sit in the quiet and say the forbidden sentence: I envy this. I want what they have. Name it and watch it lose its power. For envy only rules from the dark. Dragged into the light, examined, spoken, it stops being a master and becomes a servant, a signal pointing. The feeling you were most ashamed of becomes the most honest map you own. The strong are not those without envy. They are those who have looked at it without flinching. And once you have named it, you may perform the oldest alchemy. There are two doors out of envy, and they stand side by side. Through the first, you tear the other man down and call it justice. Through the second, you let his height show you how high a man can climb. The same fire that consumes the envious can forge the ambitious. Resentment says, he should have less. Emulation says, I will learn how he came to have so much. Turn your rival into your teacher. Study the thing you covet. The energy you would have spent on bitterness is the very fuel you need to rise. Envy transmuted is simply desire that has found its direction. But know the nature of the ladder you are climbing. It has no final rung. There is no height at which the comparing mind goes still. Raise yourself above the friend you envied, and you will not feel peace. You will simply lift your eyes and find someone standing higher. The envious man who becomes rich envies the richer. The known man envies the famous. There is no summit. The hunger is the point. So the cure was never to win the comparison. The cure is to step off the ladder entirely. To measure your today against your yesterday and against no other soul alive. And as you rise, remember Saul and the spear and the singing crowd. Your good fortune will summon the envy of others, as surely as light summons moths. So do not flaunt it. The man who parades his blessings is sharpening the knives of lesser men. When you succeed, speak of the luck in it. Speak of the help you had, the timing, the years of failure. Let them feel you are still one of them. Give the small their dignity. This is not dishonesty. It is the quiet armor of the wise. Power that announces itself invites the very destruction it fears. The truly secure have no need to be seen as superior. In the end, there is only one true escape, and it is this. The envious consumes. The free man creates. While one stands at the window counting what others have built, the other is in the workshop, making something that did not exist before. You cannot envy and create in the same breath. One faces outward, hungry, comparing. The other faces inward, at the work. So pour yourself into the thing only you can make. A life so full of your own labor that there is no room left to measure another's. Envy dies the moment your hands are busy building. Return now to the friend and the good news and the cold thing beneath your smile. You know its name at last. And a thing named can be ruled. Let the sourness come, and then let it speak. Ask it what it wants. Follow where it points. And go and build that for yourself. Stop staring at the light in another's window as though it were proof of the dark in your own. There is no fixed sum of flame in this world. Light a fire of your own, and you will find you no longer need to envy theirs. The cure for envy was never to take. It was always to become.